Okay, welcome to the Orange Zone, Module 3. All too often we live in the orange zone, which leads to that chronic stress and burnout. The vagus nerve is sensing everything as a threat, so your thinking gets more and more emotionally based instead of rationally based. The techniques for the orange zone begin to incorporate a more body-centric strategy along with that mental overlay to bring that rational brain back to the forefront. Using our biological system, or the body, we can outwit or hack the stress system and the stress perceived in the mind, because that stress is typically a concern of something in the past, or we're starting to worry about something in the future, whereas the body is pretty centered here in the present. By cultivating a sense of being in the present, you can start to break that mental stress cycle. Whether it's focusing on the minute play-by-play of your facial expressions, or dedicating thoughts of compassion for others, using your sense of smell or temperature to change your neural response, or even begin incorporating some breathing techniques in response to timing with body movements. All of these techniques in the orange zone take a more intense approach to stopping that limbic brain in its tracks. And as you find yourself favoring one technique or the other, you'll find it more fun and more enjoyable. And you'll find that these become easier even in those lower echelons of stress in the yellow and the green zone. You'll be able to use these same techniques that you've gained to deepen not only your stress response, but deepen your sense of awareness in general as your stress levels start to drop. This helps you kind of supercharge your focus and really get your transformation off to the right track. So here's a disclaimer. Here's what we're going to cover in Module 3. Lesson 1 is going to be the mirror meditation, which is how to face your worst critic with loving kindness. Lesson number 2 is a hot shower, how to stimulate relaxation through chemoreceptors and thermoreceptors. Lesson 3 is the opposite, cold shower, how to fast track measurable results without any skill in 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds. Lesson 4 is the thumb squeeze, how to layer in a focusing technique without getting distracted. Lesson 5 is here and now, how to live in the present without stress hijacking the moment. So for all these lessons, as always, take out your favorite notebook, favorite pen, take out the roadmap, take out the guidebook and your workbook. Turn your cell phone on as silent or vibrate, and if you need support, just contact me. What you'll learn again, Lesson 1, the mirror meditation plus compassion meditation. It's a 2-for-1. Lesson 2, hot showers are very soothing, as you obviously know, and I'll go into aromatherapy while also giving you a lesson on how to create bath bombs and shower fizzies, which will kind of get you more hands-on. Lesson 3 is don't say no until you tried it. Trust me on this. There are numerous benefits to cold showers, and I'll get into it. Lesson 4, make your brain juggle if you're an overthinker, which is a huge thing that has helped me with my insomnia. Lesson 5 is a way to layer in more techniques with touch, breath, and a mindset. Okay, let's get into Lesson 1, the mirror meditation. Okay, so this is not just a mirror meditation, but it's also loving kindness. And when I first heard loving kindness, I was like, no, oh my gosh, that sounds so stupid. Loving kindness. I love how people say that when they read a book that's a loving kindness, they like hide it behind magazines just out of embarrassment. And I'm totally in the same boat. Like, loving kindness. And then I found out how insanely powerful it was. I mean, yeah, it sounds syrupy and sweet, and I didn't think I'd ever be here talking about it, but here I am. And that's because it works. So this technique is insanely powerful. I'll go into the research of why it's so powerful, and it can literally change your life. Not even kidding. Okay, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Sharon Salzberg, who is the author who wrote Loving Kindness and continues to write books on it. She's a meditation teacher who is a good friend of Joseph Goldstein, also at Insight Meditation Society. Lesson 1, mirror meditation. I'll go into the how-to, the science, the practice, and different applications. Okay, mirror meditation is the way that I wanted to set this up is it's kind of a 2-for-1, where number 1, you start with facing the mirror. And then after you face the mirror for a certain amount of time, about 5 to 10 minutes, you then start sending yourself in the mirror 4 phrases of compassion, which I'll get into in a minute. The goal is when you're looking into the mirror, you are paying attention to the minute facial expressions of your face in the here and now. The goal is self-awareness. A lot of us get into self-criticism or self-judgment mode when you look at the mirror. But what you want to do is open up to whatever rises up. You want to bring an attitude of caring and respect for the person in the mirror. You'll start by looking in the mirror, noticing your breathing, taking a deep breath, looking into your eyes. Notice, does your breathing change? And if you notice your inner critic speaks up, look at your expression on your face. Look at the way the person in the mirror seems to be feeling. So it's this definite like cyclical thing as you look into the mirror. And then the longer you look, notice where your attention is going. Kind of like when we did rain, where you detach for clear thinking and you reframe the intention you have in the moment. After you've had enough amount of time in that, as I said, 5 to 10 minutes, what you want to go is to the phrases, these are the phrases that I like to use, which Sharon Salzberg talks about. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. May you live with ease. You repeat these over and over each time, with more feeling, and really thinking it through. As you do this, looking at yourself in the mirror, notice the expression changes in the mirror. So again, as I mentioned, here's not so much a secret, I busted that, but it is a 2-for-1 meditation, or is a 2-for-1 technique. It's the technique of looking in the mirror, and then the phrases you can actually use not even with the mirror. You can start them in the mirror and you can use them as you look in the mirror, but you can take this all on your own. You can do it with your eyes closed, you can do it when you're out and about. And that in of itself is its own thing, loving kindness, which books have been written about and entire meditations are based to it. So again, the basics are self-compassion, loving kindness. The self-compassion portion of this goes back centuries and is also called metta, and more recently has the name of loving kindness. What you can do with these phrases also, besides sending them to yourself just in the mirror, is you can close your eyes and reflect back on your past. You can send them to your past self, to the you that got bullied on the playground. You can send them to your future self, the one who is old and tired and can't get out of bed, or is injured, or whatever. And these are actually in the workbook, and we'll go through that later, or you'll go through that on your own with the workbook later. And as you advance your practice, as you find that this becomes more and more useful for you, as I said, you can simply close your eyes and envision sending these not only to yourself, but to other people. And the way that you can start doing that is you can send the phrases not only to yourself, then you can move on to someone that you love. You can move on to someone neutral, like someone that you see often when you go get gas, when you go get coffee, when you get your groceries, someone that you pass and just wave to in the halls at where you work, someone like that. And then moving on, finally, maybe someone that you dislike, sending them the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. May you live with ease. And moving back to the beginning of this meditation, with the mirror meditation, going into some of the science behind this. Dr. Tara Well is a PhD who leads students in the mirror method, and she publishes in Psychology Today. What this does is that you start looking at part of your brain that refuses to shut up, where you can't relax or let go. You're always looking for problems even when there are none. So you can watch this in the mirror and you can be more aware of that inner critic. Doing this practice slows down that monkey mind, which is a big part of mindfulness meditation as well, and you can better see your cues and triggers for problem seeking and self-criticism. This technique that Dr. Tara Well talks about was used in an experiment over 10 days in which participants reported, after 10 days of doing this, a measurable decrease in stress, anxiety, and depression while having an increase in self-compassion. Some more literature is that mirror meditation has some features of mindfulness meditation. And there is a ton of research out there on mindfulness meditation. And I'll just list this one here. And this is by Dr. Richard Davidson and Dr. Kabat-Zinn, who are huge people in the meditation world. And they have a research study called Alterations in Brain and Immune Function produced by mindfulness meditation. What this article did, or what this research study showed, is that over 8 weeks in a mindfulness meditation applied in a work environment, they found this left tilt brain activity, which is because they often do these in conjunction with MRI studies, and a left tilt is increased in meditators and highly happy people. So what they did, and it's associated with positivity when you have this left tilt shift in the brain. So what they did is they gave the employees in this study who did the mindfulness for 8 weeks, they gave them their normal flu vaccination at the end of the 8 weeks. And they found that the people engaged in this technique had a significant increase in antibody response, pointing towards both improved brain with that left tilt and immune function, because they had increased antibodies to the flu vaccine. The loving kindness meditation, as I mentioned, is thousands of years old, and it is found in numerous texts from thousands of years ago, but only now have we been showing more quantifiable effects on the human brain with modern science. In a study published in Psychological Science, and this is by Dr. Davidson, compassion training was shown to change thoughts and behavior. So research subjects trained in compassion meditation were more likely to help a victim who had been treated unfairly, while also showing changes in their brain and the neural mechanisms that were associated with positive emotions. So helping other people makes you feel better. And they did this by looking at fMRI studies, and then they were able to influence their behavior. In watching someone suffer, the subjects had a neural pattern change so that the brain perceived a reward in helping others. And that correlated again with a positive emotion. This finding means that you're more likely to be in a polyvagal green zone, or that social engagement zone, which relates to a healthy level of stress. This also relates to neuroplasticity and neural changes. We are actually able to change our brains on fMRI studies by doing these meditation practices and doing this every single day for only weeks, just weeks, like 6 to 8 weeks. You will have measurable changes in your brain. You can literally change your brain. Another one is in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology. Mindful meditation was tested against loving kindness meditation, and it was found that telomere length, or that marker for longevity, stayed constant or showed an anti-aging effect if you do loving kindness practice, which is those, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering, may you live with ease. Simply doing that makes your telomeres stay the same and not shorten. And then this was published in the Journal of Personality and Psychology. Doing this technique, loving kindness meditation, can get you off that hedonic treadmill, where the goalpost keeps going backwards no matter how successful you get. What this was called the Open Hearts Build Lives. They showed that this practice showed a building process. So the more you do it, the more effects you perceive. Not logarithmic, but you multiply the effects the more you do it. So 1 hour now actually multiplies your happiness. I'll get to that in a second. So the more meditation produces increase in daily positive emotions that outpaced the hedonic treadmill, that led to lasting true happiness. This is why meditation is a known happiness booster. They found that the amount of positive emotions gained per hour spent tripled in 7 weeks. So within 7 weeks, you can actually be happier in 1 hour than you are right now. So if you do 1 hour today, you have like a slight bump in happiness. In 7 weeks, you will have tripled the amount, 3 times as happy. And this is all just like if you keep up a daily practice. And by happiness, what do I mean? Those daily positive emotions, increased mindfulness, increased purpose feelings in life. You have increased social support, or at least the perception of that, decreased illness symptoms, increased life satisfaction, and decreased depressive symptoms. I mean, this is game-changing research. Another one, pain relief. Loving kindness meditation for chronic low back pain. This is just a pilot trial, but they found that by doing loving kindness meditation, chronic pain reduced, anger reduced, and even not only that, but the perceived, like, so on like what I report as distress actually dropped by doing loving kindness meditation. Okay, so now we're going to do a really, really quick practice. I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. And what you can do, if you don't have a mirror with you right now, just take your phone and go to take a photo and set it on selfie mode. And then just set it down. Okay, and I'll set the timer for you. Let me just set up my timer while you set up your phone. Okay, you ready? Go ahead and start. Just remember just to look. You're just trying to be aware. Detach from any self-judgment. Notice your breathing. Try to stay grounded in this moment. Okay, now start sending yourself the phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. May you live with ease. Okay, that was 2 minutes. All right, so how else can you use this? Mirror meditation can be applied to whenever you accidentally catch yourself in the reflection of a window or something, but also you can do it when you're washing your hands. You can just kind of silently pay attention to what you're doing, any self-criticism that you might be giving yourself, so etc. with the mirror meditation, just kind of on the fly. Loving kindness or compassion meditation is a little bit more transportable. I found that I'm a runner, and so I find that sometimes what I'll do if I'm in a race or when I'm just on the street is I'll find someone ahead of me and send them the phrases, and that helps me not be so attentive to what's going on in my body. So you can actually do this when you're in a group setting as well. And what I found helps is when I kind of focus on the bottom up, so like the legs, the pelvis, the abdomen, the chest, and it helps because I know anatomy, but just kind of moving your way up and then kind of to their head and then just their general person. This also helps that when you're encountering a difficult person and maybe they're like yammering away and you're like, oh gosh, can you please stop talking? But just try sending them these phrases and you'll find a sudden shift in your perspective, and you may actually enjoy your time with this difficult person better. And in my experience, they actually become a lot less difficult. And yeah, it actually works really, really well to do it in real time. You can also do it when you're stuck in traffic, to the car ahead of you, to the car to the side of you. Maybe you're in a lecture or in a meeting of some kind. Maybe the speaker's not having some trouble, or maybe you find yourself really disengaging from it. What you can do is have compassion for that meditation or for that speaker and just start sending them the phrases. And then after rain, especially if you uncover something traumatic about something and you're feeling unsettled when you're trying to work through it, send yourself the phrases. You can do the mirror as well, or you can just do the loving kindness meditation in of itself after rain because something difficult came up. Basics of all of this is it's about compassion, loving kindness, and the idea is to clear away that stress and make room for happiness. So what we covered, the basics, you need a mirror and a timer. The science on this is absolutely overwhelming, and once you do it, you'll see why. You did a cool practice, just 2 minutes, that's it, that counts. You've got your meditation done for the day. And then what you want to do is take this out in the world with you and keep it up there and keep trying it out. So happiness bonus for this week is to put this to use. Not only the compassion like phrases, but then put it into action. Do something nice for somebody else. The thing about being nice is that actually causes happiness. You may think that you're doing something nice for somebody else and they feel happy, but the research shows, as Lebromyrsky has shown, is that when you do something nice for someone with a truly compassionate, altruistic slant, it actually helps you yourself. It enhances your self-esteem and gives you that sense of purpose. So for example, you can think of holding the door for someone, buying a coffee for yourself, and then an extra $3 for the one behind you and pay it forward. You can always volunteer for a nonprofit, etc. So think of ways that you could do to take action action on being compassionate and empathetic and altruistic for another person. This will cause you happiness, but only if you truly, truly mean to help another person. Okay, thanks. Download the course materials at stressreleasesurvivalguide.com.